In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that every Christian woman should be aware of when joining a Christian dating app. Hey there, my name is Maggie and I am the Quirky Christian. Welcome to my channel. This is where I encourage you in your walk with Christ and in your singleness. Now, I am an older Christian single at the age of 47, but everyone is welcome here. I hope to encourage all of you, whether you're a teenager, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Also, nothing is off limits here. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you've spent any time on dating apps, you know it's like walking through the Twilight Zone. So, are Christian dating apps any better? Well, I've tried a few of them, and I've had quite an interesting experience with them. I'm not saying they're bad, but I am saying that as Christian women, we have to be discerning and wise. Not everything that's labeled Christian is used for good. So let's get started. Point number 1. Just because a dating app is Christian doesn't mean all the people on the app are Christian. When I first joined Christian Mingle, I was really surprised to see a profile of a guy who said, "I'm not really religious. I don't like this religious stuff too much, but you know what? It's okay if you are. Why are you on Christian Mingle?" So I think there's a couple reasons why guys who are not religious would join a site like Christian Mingle. First, I think a lot of guys think that Christian women are good girls. We are safe to bring home to mommy and daddy. The problem with that is they don't think Christian women have pasts. They think we are all sugar and spice and everything nice, and we're not. So they're in for a shock if they think that all Christian women are good girls, because a lot of us have pasts. In fact, I would say all of us have pasts. Some a little more than others, but no one is clean, no one is perfect, no one, has it all together. I don't care if you were raised Christian, I don't care if you've been a Christian since the day you were born, you have a past. There are things in your past that you did that you're not proud of. And for some reason, guys who are not believers, guys who are not Christians, don't understand that. I also think that guys tend to believe that Christian women are naive. And ladies, sometimes we are. I think because we want to see the good in people, because we want to believe the best in people, we tend to ignore all of the huge red flags swaying in front of us. We ignore morality issues, we ignore anger issues, we ignore disrespect, we ignore behavior that is not Christ-like whatsoever. And then we say to ourselves, well, no one's perfect. Guys, come on. There's a saying that I love. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't be so naive as to think you can change someone, because you can't. Ask yourself this: how easy is it to change yourself? If you struggle to change yourself, why do you think you're going to change some other guy who's been this way since forever? You can't. You're not that special. So stop thinking that you can get the guy to come to church with you, that you can change him, that your love is strong enough. Please, just don't. You're going to wind up even more hurt in the end. And you're proving to these guys that yes, you are naive, and that you'll put up with all kinds of garbage in the name of love or in the name of Christ. I don't think, the Bible says not to be yoked with non-believers to begin with. So stop thinking that if you're with a non-believer, that somehow your love is going to be strong enough to save him. Only Jesus can save him. So put him in the hands of God and walk away. Point number 2. Christian men can be just as fickle as worldly men. And I think this is something that really surprised me when I started Christian dating. I'm not saying it's wrong to want someone who you're attracted to, but I got the feeling that some of these men want supermodels and June Cleaver. They want the perfect package. Meanwhile, they themselves are not even a 10. That's a whole nother story. But be prepared for guys who don't think you're pretty enough, don't think you're good enough, don't think you're smart enough. It's just really amazing to me how Christian men can be different than worldly men. Now, I'm not saying all of them are like this. It's just that I feel like Christian dating apps, or not just Christian dating apps, but dating apps in general, really push looks before anything else. They really want you to put like that profile picture that's really going to grab someone's attention. Instead of encouraging you to write a profile that's engaging, it's all about, you know, trying to get that person's attention with the first like profile picture, the first thing that he sees. And what's so sad about that is, you know, I'm not perfect or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but I would message guys who I wasn't even attracted to, because I'm the kind of person where looks and personality go hand in hand. So you can be a completely like hot 10, but if you're a jerk and you don't love the Lord and you don't have any morals, you're not going to be attractive to me anymore. But if you're a guy who, you know, you might not be a 10, but you can make me laugh, you love Jesus, and you treat me like a lady, you treat me the way that I should be treated, oh man, that is so attractive to me. So I'm willing to talk to guys who don't sweep me off my feet the minute I look at them. I just wish more people, especially if you're going to call yourself a Christian, I wish more people could give others a chance, even if they're not a 10, even if they didn't sweep you off your feet. You know, look at their profile, see what they have to say, and get to know someone. I mean, you don't have to like get married on the second date. You can just meet for coffee and get to know the person. But it just seems like there's a lot of guys out there, and I'm sure that's probably the same on the women's side. I'm sure that there are guys out there having a hard time finding Christian women, because I think that we can be very picky. I think that we can sometimes be a little ridiculous in what we're looking for. I think we want someone who has it all, and it's like, no one has it all. And, you know, I'm not saying that you should compromise your standards or your morals or anything like that, but I think sometimes we need to take a step back and say, okay, you know what? This guy might not be Matthew McConaughey, but I'm going to go out for coffee with him and get to know him. And if it doesn't work out, if there's not a connection, then fine. But come on, I just wish people would give others a chance, even if they're not like supermodel material.
Beauty fades, dumb is forever. I want you to think about that. Think about it. Just think about what it means. It means you can make this as pretty as you like. It's up here that what's going to stay with you.
Also, don't think that just because you meet a guy on a Christian dating app who says he's a Christian, that he is on the same page with you when it comes to biblical morality. I saw a profile of a guy that said, I know premarital sex is a sin, but I think it's silly to expect people to wait. Thank you for being honest, I guess. But one of the things I learned too is that there are a lot of guys out there, and a lot of people in general, who will call themselves Christians who do not have what most of us would consider like biblical standards. I think we've seen a lot of people in this world who call themselves Christians who are becoming very progressive, and not in a good way. I think there's a lot of people out there who are unfortunately allowing the culture to change their beliefs and their morals. Instead of them as Christians changing the culture is changing them, and not for good. So be prepared for guys who say that they're Christian but don't have what you might consider biblical moral standards. So you just need to be ready to stand your ground, to stick to your guns, and to not compromise, even for a Christian guy. Point number 3, just because it's Christian doesn't mean it's safe. When I first joined the Christian dating apps, I was amazed at the number of inappropriate, explicit messages I got from guys. I have a friend who's had to report guys for predatory behavior on the Christian dating apps. A few years ago, there was an episode of Dateline NBC about a woman who met her husband through a Christian dating app, and he unalived her. If you go on Google, you will find stories of women who have been stalked, harassed, and a lot of other atrocious behavior from guys who they met on Christian dating apps. So just because you're on a Christian dating app, do not let your guard down and automatically assume it's safe. Just because someone says they're a Christian does not mean they are marriage material. It does not mean they are a good person. There are a number of Christians out there. Well, let me back up. There are a number of people out there who call themselves Christians but engage in a lot of nonsense. So don't think that just because someone says that they're a Christian, oh, I can trust them. because you can't. Use common sense when meeting someone on a dating app, including Christian dating apps. Don't give out personal information. Even your phone number. You can find apps that will allow you to have like a second number, so you don't actually have to give out your real phone number. You can give them like the fake number, and they can still contact you. It's still attached to your real number. You're just not giving them your real number. And I see nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with giving someone a fake phone number. I think you have to be really careful in giving out your phone number to some strange guy who you've only talked to a few times. Do not, under any circumstances, bring a man home. Let a man know where you live after meeting him the first time. I have had Christian friends who have done this, and then they seem surprised when the guy tries to get fresh with them. Unfortunately, if you just meet a guy and you bring him home, unfortunately, there are some guys who get the wrong idea. So please, please, please be careful and don't do that. A guy does not need to know where you live. And when you're meeting someone, meet them in public. Take a picture of their license plate number. Let someone know who you're meeting and where, and give them the license plate number so they know. I know that some people might say I'm being paranoid. In fact, I know people think I'm being paranoid. I've been told I'm paranoid. I've been told I listen to too much true crime. But you know what? You cannot be too careful in this day and age. There's a lot of guys out there, and women too, who are just not right in the head. And I think we have to be really careful when it comes to dating. Finally, I know this is going to sound crazy to people, but if you meet someone and you think it's going somewhere and you think that this person might be marriage material, do a background check. Again, some people might think this is being paranoid. I just think it's being safe. And you know what? If the guy is really marriage material, if he's a true follower of Jesus, I don't think he'll mind. If some guy told me he did a background check on me, I think I'd be happy about it, because it would show me that he has discernment. It would show me that he isn't just jumping into a relationship with some girl who he doesn't know. Especially if you have children. You have to be careful with who you bring around your children. So I see nothing wrong with conducting a background check on someone who you want to get serious about. I really don't. And those are 3 things to be aware of when joining a Christian dating app. I know people for whom dating apps have worked. I know people who have gotten married to guys who they met on Christian dating apps, and their marriages are strong and Christ-like, and they are thriving. But it's not for everyone, and that's okay. But if you're going to use a Christian dating app or any dating app, just use some common sense. Be safe and be smart. Being a Christian does not mean leaving your common sense at the door. If you like what you heard today, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Christian dating world. What experiences have you had? Did you meet the man of your dreams? Did you meet the man of your nightmares? If you have any advice, leave in the comments down below. Until next time, be blessed and stay prayed up.